Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Comps. We're going to compare the 1962 GMC half-ton pickup long bed to the R1T Rivian truck. So we want you to make sure you stay tuned for us jumping the Rivian at the end of the video. So we definitely have a little bit difference here. This isn't like the F-150 Lightning and the R1T. So we're going to start with the frunk in this, but the engine in this. The one thing about the GMC that actually does have an engine up here, and it's the original engine. It's a V6, but it also has some frunk space. As you can see, there's some space here, there's some space here. You could probably even put, you know, a young child in here, right? So, and then the Rivian has these really nice lights. I still like the GMC lights a little better, but they've got some really nice lights. Everybody sees you coming down the street. But we've got some nice frunk area here and get you an extra storage. And we can even store your, Tesla cheater here. Get some power. Okay. We're getting about 300 miles of range here. 10 miles to the gallon on the GMC isn't really that good because you're only going to get about 130 miles before you have to go to, a gas station where, I think gas was like 19 cents a gallon when this thing came out. But right now, I don't think I'd really want to be driving this too much. I always like to compare keys when I buy a vehicle, and there is just a little bit difference between these keys. You got your phone too for the Rivian, but that GMC truck key, that is pretty small. And you know what's even better about that truck key is you can put it in there, turn it on, take it out. You don't have to worry about that at all. That's been turned so many times over the last 60 years that it just pulls right out of there. You could probably just use paperclip. So let's go over around here. We've got the interior of the GMC right now. We've got two, I don't even know what these were going to be, but you maybe could have put something in there. Maybe somebody can put it in the chat of what these could have been in 1962, or maybe this was just an older model. We've got, a pretty awesome ashtray. We've got fan. We have even air. Maybe not AC, but we got some air. It should have probably been a radio sometime. You can see from the keys, like I said, these keys, you can go in, you can start her up, you can pull that thing out even while you're going. So really, it's almost like the Rivian. Don't have to have a key. We got an emergency brake over here. Look, a real good horn. That's a manly horn, not like that Rivian little tweeting. Just want to give you guys a little bit of information on the drive modes in this thing. We do have a clutch you got to press in every time you switch out of a drive mode. It's pretty quick. It doesn't take much long, and if you screw it up, as you can tell, that could be a bad thing. This R right here, you can see on the stick shift here, that does not mean race, it means reverse. So you're going to stick it over to reverse. That's one way to get it back. You can only go to about 10 miles an hour that direction. Then we got what we call first. A lot of people back in the day called this the granny gear. Granny to get you up the big steep hills, maybe doing a little bit of off-roading, getting you out of bad spots. Then we got second. Second's where you usually start. Okay, that's when you get off the line, maybe get up to 10 miles an hour, and then you're shifting it right in, pressing that clutch again, shifting it into third. We're kind of calling that your mid-range. At 35, you better shift this thing into fourth gear. Kind of, this is the race mode, 35 to 65. I really have to say, I'm having a hard time with my phone, and a lot of times it takes a long time to open this thing. Never have that problem on the GMC. So 2 screens, definitely maybe almost too much stuff because you could almost run off the road with all the pressing of the buttons in the middle screen. But a really nice screen. We're getting ours dirty, you can definitely see, but no cup holders in the GMC, but nice cup holders in the back, nice leather. You gotta love that vinyl seating in the GMC too. Only a 3-passenger GMC, but we've got some extra room back here. The wheels on the GMC, 15-inch versus 20-inch off-road on the Rivian R1T. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the R1T and show you a little bit about many of the things you've already seen on the R1T. You've got all kinds of different off-road capabilities here. You've got all-purpose, sport, conserve, off-road. Keep watching for that video. We're going to jump this thing. Then we've got brake regen, all these different heights. That's awesome. Who else can do that in any vehicle? We sure can't, unless we put some crazy wheels on that GMC. We're not going to get that. You know, one thing I've really noticed in this the Rivian R1T is you've really got to slam those doors to get them shut. And the GMC is about the same. If you don't slam those doors, they're not getting all the way closed. One of my kids actually fell out of the GMC one time because we didn't have the door shut. Okay, we got a smaller steering wheel with a lot of buttons on it. Definitely a lot of different things you can do with that. You've got your it's kind of a little, I'd rather have that stick, you know, moving around instead of these little up and down reverse drive. But that's not bad. It does have driver assist, has cruise control. You don't have that in the GMC. Okay, now we move to the second screen. You guys have seen this before. I like definitely having the option of different maps and everything. I mean, hey, you could get a paper map in that GMC, but that's kind of a really nice feature. There's a lot of different things that I'm not going to get into detail, but that horn, I'm still liking the GMC better. But I'd like to know from everybody, which vehicle is your favorite and why? Now we've got through the interior, we're going to go back and take a look at the bed of the truck. 98 cubic feet back here. You can see original wood bed. Okay. You probably want to know about the paint on the GMC. Well, definitely, I can't lie, it's not the original paint job. It's not even the second paint job. It's the third paint job that we just did last week. We have some interesting things that are actually similar on the GMC and the Rivian. These tie downs you have to pull it down for sure, but when you get to the back of this bed and you look at the GMC, those chains are really similar to the back of the Rivian with just a cable here. It's going to be hard to get much clearance. I'm thinking there's like a 4-inch clearance, but hey, that storage is awesome. Okay, back to the Rivian, we got the ear tunnel for sure, but a really, really small bed, almost half the size of the GMC bed. You know, it still has some storage, has different levels, as you know. You guys have seen so many of these Rivian reviews. The GMC 0 to 60 in an amazing 13 seconds, which isn't bad for 60 years ago. And everybody knows 3.1 on the Rivian R1T. Of course, the batteries are all below. You know, you can talk to Monroe Live about tearing these things apart because mine was too expensive to be tearing anything apart on either one of these rigs. Okay, so we got the nice Rivian raised lettering again on that. Doesn't really have the appeal of the GMC, and I like half as many letters. That's kind of nice on the GMC too. The tailgate itself, pretty sturdy. One of the problems I've been having is I click on it or I use the key fob. It does not come all the way down. I think a couple people online have said the same thing. Oops, let's try that again. Okay, see, it's not locking out. Wow, this is taking longer than the GMC. Let's try that. There we go. We got it pulled out. You got to just pull it back a little bit. It should be coming down, you know, by itself. Spare tire is not in the GMC, but it is underneath here on the R1T. Again, similar. Looks like a little wire versus a chain, but a lot of the same to keep that thing at the level that you want it to be. Really like the truck overall, but I enjoy 1 or 2 days a week driving that GMC to work. So we like to always talk about price, you know, at this point. Brand new, the 1962, only $2,500. And the R1T, we're at about $78,000 before the pricing increases in March. 27-month wait time for the R1T. The GMC long bed pickup, I've heard, because I wasn't even around back then, It took about 3 months for them to get it on the farm. Then now that we've talked finance, let's start with the commercial. Evergreen Home Loans, MSL number 160217. If you ever need a home loan in Washington State, come see me, Mike Thornton. Just wanted to say thanks for watching our little kind of comedian comparison, because I think people take these comparisons way too seriously sometimes. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that we didn't tell you about, but we're really happy to compare these two, because I know there's a lot of people. We just were at a car show with both these vehicles, and I know a lot of people like this one way more. Some of those people were just complaining and poo-hooing, but also love the Rivian R1T. But 60 years of technology right here. I think this one's lasted pretty good. Hauled a lot of stuff. This R1T, I'm hoping I have that for the next 60 years in the family. Okay, thanks for watching Mike's Comps. Next, we're gonna have that video for you, us jumping and getting those tires and wheels off the ground on a little dirt road. Talk to you later, thanks.